Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bimbo Mentality, a podcast where we sit down with somebody cool and learn about the neat things that they do and see if they can think like a bimbo enough to teach us all about their area of expertise. My name is Bug. I am joined as ever by my co-host, Emma. Emma, how are you today?
I am great. I'm really excited for this episode. So, yeah, been excited all day, actually.
I am also very excited for this episode. Over in the booth, it's our producer, Lilith, doing producer shit. How are you, Lilith?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I've been excited for this episode all day as well. Honestly, really psyched.
And joining us on Bimbo Mentality today, it's Krystal Swords. Krystal Swords is a guitarist, composer, DJ, and music instructor currently residing in New York. She has over 25 years of experience playing music in various forms, including 20 combined years of schooling in piano, guitar, voice, and theory. You can also check out some of Krystal's original music. This is Krystal's 2024 single, Elysium.
Of every corner in our lives, spent watching the terror, glowing screens with rabbit faces, fucking horrors, inciting hatred. Yeah, the shadows when we feel the broken hearts, we feel strong together. It's not a war, we fight alone. All together at each other. Let every flag become our foes.
Oh my god. Hi, I'm Krystal. Y'all made me feel very hyped up. Thank you very much.
We are excited. This obviously, I think this is going to be one that that some of our listenership is excited for because, obviously there is a certain amount of crossover in the listenership of this podcast and your stream. You hype up the podcast on your stream a lot. And of course, there's all of the media buzz about our public facing micro celebrity relationship. So all of the Bimbo Mentality shippers,
Of course.
well, all of the Tumblr style shippers will have lots of opinions about this episode.
Am I gonna have fanfics of me up soon?
Yeah.
Krystal Swords tag on AO3
It's gonna be all over T-Girl MZ.
+2.
Thank you. Thanks, babe. Krystal, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing? How's life?
I'm doing pretty good today, actually. Mostly just been chilling, deactivated my Blue Sky for a little bit because I need a mental break. Been playing a lot of guitar lately.
That's good because you're here to talk about music today. So
I sure am. I'm going to
came
teach
in
y'all the
prepared.
very basics, the fundamentals of how music is made.
I was going to say, we here at Bimbo Mentality are also a pro deactivation for mental well-being podcast. Just want to throw that in there too.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited, Emma, that you're picking up that bit. I think that was your first ever use of that recurring bit. So I'm very excited about that today.
Honestly, I love it every time you do it. So I had to start chiming in.
So, Krystal, tell us about music and your history with music and how you came to be such a music expert.
Yeah, so I didn't start off because I liked music. I got started because my parents stuck me in piano lessons when I was 6, as many parents
Many
do.
such cases.
Unfortunately, they figured out I was good. So they kept me in it for a while. And then after some time, eventually you grow up, you become a teenager. Shout out Guitar Hero. They got me onto Dragon Force, and from there it's just been downhill ever since.
Bimbo Mentality is a pro Guitar Hero podcast.
Yes,
Oh,
and
yes.
Rock Band. Oh my god, those were so fun.
I feel like so many of these podcasts start with the guest's background is, well, my parents made me do a thing, and then shit happens.
And speaking of Rock Band, my background as a podcaster, I started out using a Rock Band microphone to record my first podcast.
There you go.
No way.
Work?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Those are just USB microphones. You can just do that shit.
Neat. So, okay, so you found your way into learning music, like piano and music theory, and then add in Guitar Hero, and it kind of brought you to where you are.
Yep.
When did you start kind of making your own music? What brought you to that?
That's a really good question, actually. Because I remember even before I was like really into music, I was still kind of writing my own stuff. I had a bunch of like blank sheet paper that I would occasionally like write some stuff down on with just some piano noodling or this, that, or the other thing. But it was around like middle of high school when I started to move from, oh, this is just a cute little piano thing or a random guitar thing, to like writing a song, writing words and lyrics in addition to just instrumentation. And I had this idea back in college of like a steampunk metal band that just told stories set in like a steampunk fantasy universe. And I just kind of ran with that for a while. And I've built more projects out since then, but that was kind of my first like real big, I want to do this. I want to make music about this kind of project.
That is the most Krystal Swords like idea ever. I just want to say that.
It really is. I mean, that's
Steampunk is the science fiction of fantasy.
okay.
That
I can't really argue with that.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait a minute, that actually, I think you're cooking here on that.
So you have your own, you make your own music. You did that project, and then you have a more sort of techno EDM project as well. You're a techno DJ as well, so that is also a genre that you play around in. And all of this, of course, is lead up to kind of getting into you talking about like how music works for you. But what is it about metal and techno that is specifically that drew you?
They hit hard. It's go hard music. Metal,
That's an
like,
excellent answer.
I like the dorky side of metal for sure, but like I came to metal because it was intense sound, huge sound, rattling my chest, crazy intensity type shit. And techno is not necessarily as like intense in the same way, but it very much is about loud and powerful. If you've ever been in a club environment, those kicks rattling your chest, I just like to make music that can like vibrate you physically.
Love it. All right, I'm gonna make it a hell of an awkward transition now, but I'm just gonna go with it. You also famously have strong opinions about the songwriting and how music production and stuff. Give us, so just before we get into the actual mechanics of theory, summarize for us the sort of basic Krystal Swords philosophy of how music should be made.
That's actually a really good question, because I've talked a lot online about things I don't like and things I like, but I've not really synthesized it into a total package yet.
You don't have a mission statement yet?
Yeah, so I guess one of the things I've talked about a lot is what I call the zone of experimentation, where music should be stepping outside of the bounds of what already exists, enough to be new and interesting and compelling, but not too far outside that you begin to lose people. Because a lot of people are used to, for example, music in Western 12-tone harmony. And if you start stepping outside of that Western 12-tone harmony, you are going to lose a lot of people very quickly.
Of course, Western 12-tone harmony, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say, great. I 100% accomplished my goal of moving into the territory of music theory because I have absolutely no idea what Western 12th tone harmony was. Did I even get that correct? Did I say that right? I assume it has something to do with the number of tones.
Rocket science. I think you're onto something.
I nailed it. Hole in one. End episode.
Okay, we got 12 tones and we got a Zoe. That's my abbreviation for your zone of experimentation. I'm just going to call it Zoe because it sounds really fun to have.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess other things are be good at your instrument, please. Or at least try. I like it when people try to be good. I like it when people are good at their instrument, especially if you're going to be like a professional musician who earns money off of it. I think you should, if you are a professional, you should be good at the thing you do professionally.
Here's the thing that keeps getting you in trouble.
That's the thing. That's the main thing, honestly.
Yeah. Professional musicians should be competent.
Hot take, I know.
Always very, very...
being competent on your instrument is up to subjective taste, apparently.
That was a real passive aggressive, apparently.
Load bearing, apparently.
Yeah, so what the heck is a 12th tone harmony?
Yeah, so this is actually a really good place to start. You see on like a piano or a guitar, there's way more than 12 notes on this sucker. There's 88 keys on a full scale grand piano. To make it easier, and because of certain mathematical relationships between the frequencies of each note, we divide those in our current system into 12 notes that repeat every 12 notes. And that's called an octave. Oct is the prefix for 8, which you might notice is not 12. We'll get to that.
All right, so we're going to call that an octi just to kind of maintain this little like abbreviation, this sort of cunty little abbreviation theme we've got going on.
So yeah, you've got a whole bunch of octaves, and technically they repeat infinitely in either direction. But that's only just limited in the physical world by the actual frequencies that generate a note. Because that's what a note is. A tone is just a vibrating frequency. Sound is wiggly air. It's just a vibration. And the speed at which that air is vibrating, or that string or whatever is vibrating, is the frequency it determines the note. So for example, the kind of standard central tuning that most people around the world use today is called A440, which means that a certain specific A is equal to 440 hertz. And I can't remember if it's this one or if it's this one. But it's one of those two. That's A440. And then you tune everything relative to that.
So octaves go infinitely, like, is it just because like outside of a certain range we can't hear it anyway, so it's like undetectable, but it's still there happening? Or is that like, okay, kind of like visible light? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You can make that air wiggle at any speed you like, baby. But
exactly. But the human range of hearing is from about 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz.
That's pretty lame, by the way. I think at this point in like technology, they should have like expanded that.
Let me hear the dog whistle.
Yeah, they should have fixed that by now.
I was just gonna say my hearing is actually from 50 to 46,000 hertz, according to Google, with Coyote hearing range. So
yeah, Emma's got those fancy ears.
I haven't actually done the research about my animal of choice, but I assume that bugs can't hear for shit. But is that what we're doing?
I suppose. Birds? I have no idea what birds do, hearing-wise. I think it's pretty limited, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think that the point of technology really is just to give us superpowers.
Right? Like, technology is supposed to better our lives. What would be better than superpowers?
Right? Okay, so where were we? We got off on a tangent talking about some
Little
nonsense,
bit.
as we are wont to do.
Octaves, repeating infinitely in both directions. Each octave contains the 12 notes that we deal with.
Okay.
These notes are all given names so that we can talk about them, obviously. Annoyingly, there's some of them have two different names. So the standard set of symbols that you use for the names are actually just letter names. So A, B, C, D, E, F, and G are all of the letters that we use for names. And that's only 7 of them. So we're still missing 5. That means there is notes in between each of those, not all of them, but most of them. So there's an A, and there's also what is called an A sharp. And a sharp is just a thing that tells you to go up 1.
Weird that they had to do it that way because, like, there's a lot more letters.
Right? Why didn't we just go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, whatever, how many 12 is? Like, why did we have to make this hard?
There is a reason for that. And because when you're actually playing music, you don't use all 12 notes at the same time. Here's what it sounds like if you play all 12 notes just all at once.
I mean, based, actually. I don't understand why
it sounds
they can't
neat.
be.
And some songs do use it very famously. Master of Puppets by Metallica is a chromatic walkdown, but most songs don't use all 12 notes. Most songs instead stick to what is called a scale. And a scale has 7 notes, 1 for each of the letter names that we usually use. So within a scale, each of the 7 notes gets assigned exactly 1 letter, and you don't repeat letters, which is why you have sharps if you need to tell us that one of the notes is 1 higher, and flats if we need to tell us that one of the notes is 1 lower. So the most basic scale that everyone starts with is the C major scale. And if you look at a piano, you know how there's like white keys and there's black keys on the piano?
Yes.
The C major scale.
Yes, I do know that one.
We got 1 at the very least. The C major scale uses all of the white keys and none of the black keys. In terms of note names, it uses A, B, C, D, E, F, and G with no sharps and no flats.
I missed this earlier, but I kind of think that the piano needs to add an 89th key just to avoid associations with unsavory characters.
I agree. 88 is just not a good number, and it's not a multiple of 12 either. What are we doing here?
I was also wondering that when you told me there was
problematic.
12 and then 88, I was like, I don't understand. That doesn't divide into 12. I had to like do it in my head. I was like, wait a minute.
Nope, you got a
There's-
few like stragglers on the bottom end of the piano.
There's so much math happening right now.
I know.
and it's
No wonder I was so bad at
confusing,
this.
Unclean math.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
What's a chord though? I hear that a lot for songs.
So a chord is when you take multiple notes and play them at the same time.
Oh.
They're usually in a certain pattern where you would generally use, for example, if you wanted to play the root chord, the most basic chord in a scale, you would use the first note of the scale, the third note of the scale, and the fifth note of the scale. So you just skip a note, or you go every other to make a chord. And a C major chord sounds like this. Pretty straightforward.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is because I know, like, famously, like, a lot of Blink-182 songs are called like 3-chord, like power chord songs that are like easy to play for that reason.
Yep.
So
a power chord is something slightly different, and this is generally exclusive to guitar. A power chord, generally a chord requires there to be 3 or more notes. 2 notes at the same time is usually called an interval, which is just like a distance between 2 notes. But guitarists, being guitarists, decided that the interval of a perfect fifth, sounds like this, would be called a power chord. And power chords work really nicely on guitar for a bunch of reasons. They're a really nice hand shape. They sound great, and they don't add additional harmonic information. Usually, a chord carries some sort of information. Generally, the most basic form is whether that is a major chord or a minor chord. And that's just a difference in like vibe, you know? The fun part about music theory is there's a whole bunch of terms and definitions that you have to learn. And then you just get to discuss what kind of vibe they give you.
I do like the idea, since you said that like chords carry information, I do like the idea of using your guitar chords like to store your passwords and stuff like that. Like,
so there are some methods of encoding musical information that turn notes into individual numbers, sometimes referred to as pitch class notation. You'll see this if you ever go to one of those like live coding music events. When they're doing live coding music, they don't usually use the note names, they use numbers. So like,
those are fucking cool, by the way.
Those are really cool.
Wait,
if there's an algo rave, they're usually called algo raves, or like a live coding rave.
Algo raves, oh my god.
Definitely go to it.
Sounds like it would not be cool, but it is.
This is most things, honestly. If you go to it, most things are pretty cool. But yeah, it uses the most common platform for that is Strudel. Very cool. I've poked around with it some. And yeah, they use numbers instead of your traditional note names. So you could indeed encode whatever information you want there, really. There's also ways of encoding individual scales into binary. So you can encode like binary information into playable scales. But that's getting way off the deep end.
So music is just numbers, is basically the point you're trying to make.
When I teach guitar or music to anybody, I'm usually pretty upfront, and I'm like, sorry, this is going to be like 40% math class.
Which is wild to think about, because like you generally think of those as like the two ends of the academic spectrum. Like,
horseshoe theory real?
I guess so. Okay, so what the heck is a scale?
Yeah, so like I said, scales are what most music is actually written in. It's a selection of usually 7 out of the 12 notes. And these scales can carry vibes, just like your chords can. For example, we have our major scale, which sounds like this.
That sounds pretty funky and fun.
Right? It's kind of bright. It's pretty happy. Certain ways of using it can even sound like saccharine and too much. Like,
yeah, you can use that scale if you want to be annoying.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Which is one of my favorite things in the world.
And then you kind of have its counterpart, which is the minor scale, major and minor. The minor scale in the same place sounds like this.
That sounded like bluesy and downbeat.
There is a blues scale. It's dark. The minor scale is darker. Got like a more kind of dour or down vibe. And yeah, there is a blues scale. Completely separate thing. Kind of sounds like this.
Okay, so that just sounded like the other one, but way better and cooler.
Yeah, it's mostly made from the minor scale. But those are your two major. I guess I shouldn't use the word major. Those are your two big scales: the major scale and the minor scale. One is happy, one is sad. One is bright, one is dark.
And that's how you give your music its vibes.
Exactly. There's a whole bunch of other ones. Like I've been playing around with this one lately. Weird little fucked up dark thing with a bunch of weird jumps in it. You can choose any selection of notes. You can choose any collection of usually 7, but honestly any number of notes. Just as long as you stick to it mostly.
I've got sort of a mystery I would sort of like solved, and I'm gonna work up to it because there's a lot of music out there. I think we can all agree on that there has been a lot of music made, and
there's
that
at
music
least 10 songs.
like I would even say like 11 or 12.
Crazy.
But and that music that has been made encompasses a lot of vibes. So what I would like to know is if there is a vibe out there that no one has successfully converted to music yet. Like, how specific a vibe do you have to get for there to be no song for that mood?
I feel like that can't possibly exist in humanity. I feel like we're naturally. I'll let the expert here answer, but I feel like like those studies where they show when you are like all humans across all cultures, when you're listening to something that has like a beat and you're walking, you will subconsciously start walking to match the rhythm of the song. I feel like it's like ingrained into us. I feel like music is one of our like unifying things that makes us human. I don't know. I can't imagine someone somewhere not trying to convert their vibe to music, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, yes, there's trillions of songs, tons of pieces of music out there. There's probably one that captures every vibe possible. But my thing is, I don't think, for example, what I would think captures, say, the vibe of going to the bathroom at a club, and what you might think going to the bathroom at a club sounds like is exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
So this is where we get into the subjectivity of music.
I actually am going to have to double check because former Bimbo Mentality guest Command Jasmine has an album that is entirely like that is a concept album supposed to cover the experience of a night at the club. I am gonna have to double check if there's one about taking a shit in the club bathroom on
taking
that
a
album.
Shit in the club bathroom is a time-honored tradition. I have participated many times.
I've done it.
I like how when Krystal said like go to the bathroom in a club and you took it, like, you immediately were like, yes, take your shit in the club bathroom. And I was like, yeah, so I was thinking of like in the mirror, like doing, getting like some girl who's like complimenting your makeup, and then some girl gives you like a bump, and then
there's many things you can do in the bathroom at a club, and only one of those things is take a big monster dump.
Maybe 2 if you're lucky.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. It depends on when the Molly hits, but yes.
Can I just say how thrilled I am that we got the Krystal Swords episode and there's a poop joke on it.
Hey, it was only a matter of time.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't. I knew it was going to happen. I also
plenty of time. There might be more.
Yeah, and it was not even, Krystal didn't even make it. That's just how she's rubbing off on me.
Oh my God.
I'm such a good influence.
The best.
Love
So
you.
amazing.
Love you too.
That was so adorable. I just want to say that.
Thank you. All right, so now that we've talked about taking shits at club bathrooms,
This is a very important part of music theory, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Angel fact.
Can you like take a shit in like a harmonic rhythm?
I mean, if you are generating sound
for the listener at home, Lilith has her head in her hands.
You good over there?
I'm fine.
Anyways, what I was going to say was if you can generate a sound and then organize that sound somehow, that's music.
Oh, so you can remix the plot.
Oh my God.
Plop Apple Boy remix.
Don't your parents listen to this?
But like, yeah, sample some plops, sample some splashes, maybe a little bit of here and there. Throw it into a techno song, put a kick under it. Club banger. There you go. Easy. The real fun thing to do is sample the shit and then assign it to a MIDI keyboard so you can play a symphony of poops.
One for each of the 89 notes on the Neo piano.
I like that you went with the number of notes in your hypothetical non-existent piano, by the way.
Yeah, well, this is the new age for the piano.
I like it.
We gotta reinvent our instruments every now and again. You know, it's been however long since a piano got updated.
Okay, wait, actually, great question. Krystal, maybe you know this. Like, what happened to like making instruments? We kind of just like, I feel like hey, we got enough now. We're done. These are the instruments. There's a theremin, I guess.
We invented the synthesizer, which kind of is all of the instruments.
And I feel like most of these instrument invention has been in the synthesizer. We've invented new kinds of synthesizer, and we're not really inventing other ones anymore.
Do y'all remember / did you even hear about that time like years ago when a guy converted a building into a pipe organ? Like, he wired up an organ to a building and you could like hit the different keys and it would like play the different pipes in the building.
Pipe organs are so cool. That's just how most pipe organs work. They have to be integrated into the architecture of usually the church or whatever structure they're inside of because they're so big.
That's fucking nuts.
I have never gotten to play one, and that's a bucket list item for sure.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I guess it makes sense. Like, there's only so many ways you can make air move through things to make noise. Like, so.
Exactly. We have wiggly string. We have push air through metal tube.
We have bang thing.
We have hit thing. Hit thing's a pretty good one. Most instruments are just variants of those three. A piano is actually a string instrument. When you press a key on a piano, a mallet strikes strings inside of a piano.
I love the knowledge that there's 88 tiny hammers in really any object, but a piano in this case.
Pianos are full of hammers.
Things should have little hammers in them.
So when you drop a piano like in a cartoon, you're actually killing someone with hammers. like you say, like, I'm gonna kill you with hammers.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
Me and my friends would have dropped a grand piano on ET, I can tell you that much.
Oh my god.
Do you have any friends who can afford a grand piano? Because I sure can't.
Aren't there like a whole bunch of people who on like Facebook Marketplace though who like can't pay someone to get rid of them?
Okay, that's real. Do you know anyone who has the space for a grand piano?
No, I do not, Krystal Swords.
It's like it's always like someone where invariably like they inherit it from like a grandparent who passed, and then it's like I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing. Like
or they bought it like years ago for their like child prodigy child, and then that child prodigy child just like became a total burnout and like went into some burnout field, like I don't know, high finance or some shit, and never touched the piano, and now the parents are like, what am I gonna do with this?
Yep, many such cases. Also, nobody owns houses anymore.
Yeah.
So like
True. Lack of piano ownership is a recession indicator.
Yeah.
True.
I've had that. Think we had that conversation too with Emily of how I became invisible when she was on the podcast, that like it's kind of impossible to find a way to like rehearse your bands anymore because nobody has space for like a drum set.
Yep. I don't even know anyone who has space for like an electronic kit, much less a full acoustic kit.
What happened to garages, right? You know, like the actual garage band.
I think this is why everyone's a DJ nowadays.
Yeah, it makes like electronic and techno music, and
it's true
like that.
All you need is a laptop.
I think that we gotta invest in like community sheds, like just
community sheds.
Buy one shed to share amongst like all your friends, and they can keep all their shit. I don't know where you can go to just like buy a shed. I don't know if that's a thing, but it should be.
First of all, there are places you can just buy a shed. Second of all, I know there are like in major cities, there are oftentimes like practice spaces that I know I have a lot of friends who are in bands, and they like usually like I think there's usually like 3 or 4 bands that are all kind of throwing in on a practice space, to like, you know, everybody splits the rent, and then you just have what is essentially a shed to keep all of your instruments in that hopefully won't get broken into, and then also you can practice there.
If I know anything about local music scenes, like those 3 or 4 bands probably all have the same drummer, so they can kind of
True.
Yeah. And also, everyone in those 3 or 4 bands definitely likes each other, and there's no conflicts that arise from this situation whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. No, never.
No, music scenes are perfectly socially amicable. Everyone likes each other. Everyone's super chill. Yep. Yeah. What do you mean artists get upset at each other? That's not a thing.
Yeah.
I have half a mind right now to gossip about, like, local New York City punk bands and stuff that I know about them live on this podcast, even though nobody would know anything about bands that I'm talking about, but I won't do it anyway because I have friends in those bands, and that would be mean.
Don't be mean to musicians. We're already hard enough on ourselves.
Yeah.
You're a bunch of math nerds.
Yep.
Apparently.
Uh-huh.
We should get back to talking about that. Where the hell were we on music theory? I think we derailed the music theory conversation somewhere around poop.
No, it was scales. We were doing major and minor scale, and then we did
I think that was around where we were at. Yeah, major minor scale. So the scale you pick obviously determines your vibe, but each scale has a bunch of chords within it. Those chords are made up of just the notes in the scale. And what's cool about that is that you can have, for example, a minor chord in a major scale, or vice versa. So when you're choosing chords, that's a way to kind of complicate your vibe, because just 2 basic scales major, minor, happy, sad. That's very simplistic in terms of emotional content, in terms of vibe. So what you do is you go to, for example, we'll go to a minor scale. Here's one of my favorite chord progressions. This is, if for any music knowers in the chat, this is 1, 6, 3, 7 in a natural minor. So I'm playing a minor scale there. We started off with a minor chord, but all 3 of the other chords in that were major chords. So it gives it this kind of, initial kind of darkness, kind of dourness. Then all 3 of the other chords bring the major vibe, bring the happy vibe. So you get a little bit of sad to start off, but then it switches right into some happier vibes. And I think this chord progression sounds very like adventure-y.
I was gonna say I could I don't know why it's just that's like evoking like classic 90s songs right there. Like I felt like you're about to go into like a very 90s-esque kind of sound song there. You know what I mean? Like alt rock, 90s alt rock, yeah.
Throw a little dirt on the guitar, play some power chords about it.
Yeah.
Hey baby, can I complicate your vibe?
Hey, you're looking like a pretty clear major scale over there. Can I throw a diminished chord in you sometime?
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, where were we?
Diminished chord.
Hey baby, can I show you my diminished chord?
Oh my god.
No, I promise. I got an augmented one at home.
Like there was a Zelda game, Diminished Cap. Sorry.
Okay, underrated Zelda game. Underrated Zelda game. Minish Cap is great.
It really is. Diminished Cap.
We're gonna derail here and talk about Legend of Zelda for the next 12 minutes. I was about to ask if you have any opinions about the music from The Legend of Zelda.
It's always good. It's honestly always excellent. The just kind of like main themes. A lot of those classic video games just have really well written main themes. In particular, that little, that's using the major scale. But it does a very similar thing to what I was just talking about. It starts off in the major scale and then switches over to a minor scale. You don't actually have to stick to one scale for any of your songs. All the rules of music theory are made up and you can break them as you want.
And that's how you complicate the vibe.
Exactly. Otherwise, we would have stopped writing music when the Greeks, were done.
We're done.
Yeah, there's no more Greek people out there, right? The Greeks are just over as a civilization.
Famously, none.
Yeah, no, so I like that, though. It's, writing music is all about complicating the vibe. That's...
It really is.
A way to describe it.
When you're writing music, some people write it more as a technical exercise or do more meticulous construction that's, I guess, more, we'll call formalist. Not necessarily focused on, any piece of music you write is going to have a vibe, is going to have emotional content. People are going to react to it emotionally. But there are a lot of artists that are more concerned with, the construction and the notes and the form
like
over
Tool
the emotional content. Yeah, a lot of the music I listen to is like that. Progressive metal is very much a we're going to play a lot of notes because playing a lot of notes rules kind of music.
I don't know anything really about I don't know shit, but I just know Tool's called math rock or something, so I figured that's up your alley.
I have opinions on Tool. Tool is a progressive metal band, and I always call them the McDonald's of prog metal. They are the most watered down, most easily manufactured version of prog metal. But A, prog metal's good no matter what, so it's going to be pretty good. And B, sometimes you want a cheeseburger,
I was gonna say, I happen to know how you, Krystal Swords, feel about McNuggies. So,
No comment.
If Maynard James Keenan ever listens to this small transsexual podcast, then we are in for a world of trouble.
Which I assume he does.
Of course.
Probably true.
No,
Probably true.
actually, I wouldn't want him to. Of all of the members of Tool, he's definitely the worst.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just Googled his name. Did not know.
As I recall, he's not a great dude.
Ooh.
Shame, because Danny Carey is a really, really good drummer.
Yeah.
What, like-
All right, I don't know anything about this guy. Can we start a beef live on the podcast?
Maynard. First of all, Maynard James Keenan, stupid name. Maynard, come on, whatever.
Maynard.
Yeah, fucking Maynard.
Maynard getting hit in your
More like Maynard.
Save big money at Maynard's.
Oh my god.
I would like to issue a formal apology from the Bimbo Mentality podcast for everybody named Maynard except for this guy.
Except for this guy.
There you go.
Okay, wait.
Except for the lead singer of Tool.
This is making me think now of a tangent of like what like rock frontman like most likely fucks with the dolls.
Steven Tyler.
Oh, there are so many. I mean, confirmably Fred Durst, right? Like that's been well documented.
Yep.
Yes. Like I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. 1999. I did not like think like 20 years from now I'd be like Fred Durst, ally. Like,
yeah.
The world moves in strange ways.
It makes you think like probably a lot of like the guys from that era who, you know, nobody really liked, but also haven't really gotten in trouble. Like, I have no reason to suspect that Chad Kroeger does not fuck with the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, here's one of my very, very hot takes. Nickelback has some bangers. Crucify me.
Oh my god. I gotta find a photograph nearby.
I don't think I can comment on this. I don't think that I have. I don't think that I have a way into this because one of two things is happening. Either I'm officially saying live on a podcast that I think Nickelback is good, or I'm telling my music nerd girlfriend that her opinion on music is bad.
That one is an acceptable one to disagree with me on. Nickelback enjoyment is a hot take of mine.
I'm okay. I will save this in my back pocket for the next time Taylor Swift releases an album. I'm just gonna say that right now. The second of all, I will say. Second of all, I actually will agree. I think Chad Kroeger, like, sure, fucks the dolls, but I think we can all agree Imagine Dragons are transphobes. Like, I have no reason to believe this. No evidence. I just feel it in my soul.
Seconded.
I don't want to open us up to like a libel lawsuit, but I will say that Imagine Dragons sucks.
If we get sued by Imagine Dragons for libel because we said that they're transphobic, can you imagine the publicity that would get us?
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. You're the producer, Lilith.
I would add it to my Blue Sky bio if I got sued by Imagine Dragons for libel.
Yeah, we would have to make a T-shirt out of it.
And hey, if they sue us, a collective of trans women, for saying they're transphobic, they've now sued trans women for saying some shit on the podcast.
Point.
So
oh my god,
they're wrong.
I willed it.
Boom.
That itself becomes transphobic. I can't lose. I become right.
Wow.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Really.
This is why I'm the producer.
We've really sort of caught Imagine Dragons in a catch-22 right now.
Oh my god. If they sued poor trans women, you could say that their like social media brand would become radioactive, I guess.
God damn it, you beat me to it. I was gonna make that exact fucking joke.
I had to turn on the camera.
You would say that their reputation is no longer on top of the world. Am I right?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You have already named one more Imagine Dragons song than I knew existed.
Hold up.
You might even have to say that it's time for them to wrap it up.
Oh my god, how do you know so many?
Yeah, really?
They have more than one
These
song?
are all huge hits.
Look,
None of them are good songs, but they were all huge hits.
All I'm saying is they have their demons, okay? So...
Okay, that one I know. I've heard that one.
That is the worst of those 4 songs.
I'm not okay. Look, can I really quick one more part of this tangent say that for the longest time I refused to watch Arcane because the intro song was Imagine Dragons. I was like, how can this good show have
refuse to watch Arcane for that
reason? I don't know what that is.
How can this good show have the worst intro song ever?
Arcane is the League of Legends show, and I did watch it. I watched the first season, and it was mid.
It has some good parts, but the animation I really liked. But yes, the fact that I have to like even skip the beginning of an Imagine Dragons song for like 8 times in a row is like actual torture.
Already a bad sign.
It's a bad sign. Anyway, sorry, I have ruined this podcast with my Imagine Dragons take.
Well, having now sort of jumped from like covered many different tangents from Imagine Dragons to poop, we are now at the time where it's time to move into our outro.
Wait. I have one more question for our expert today.
Go for it.
Okay, it's one because I've asked you before in the past, but like if you could be with the context of like the biggest metal band today isn't really as mainstream as it used to be back in the day, and the biggest DJ is now like global. If you could be like at the top of your industry as like a DJ or as the front woman of like the biggest metal band in the world, but knowing that's different still in terms of that, right? Like, what would you more want?
This is an incredible question. I'm really glad
that
you asked.
This is a very good question, and I think even 6 months ago, my answer might have been different. But I think I would go DJ at this point.
I was gonna say that I think that would be it. You have fallen in love with that.
I really have.
I really see that. Like I felt like that too for you because like I feel like I'm gonna look back and be like, yeah, this like, you know, it goes like Charlotte DeWitt or Emily Lenz or someone, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, Krystal Swords. Like, this is gonna be awesome.
Aww.
I will say now, I mean, we're gonna get to our plugs segment, obviously, but if you are listening to this podcast and you are familiar with me and Emma and Lilith and somehow not familiar with Krystal, go on Twitch 7 to 10 Tuesday nights. Krystal has a DJ stream, and you should tune in. They are such a good time. Yeah, so I think it's time to move into our outros. Emma, what'd you learn today?
Oh my gosh, so much. I learned more than I ever thought about, like chords and octaves and like how much math is involved. I think what I really like, one thing that stuck with me, I always go for the sentimental like lesson, which is I really liked what Krystal said about like, even if there is a song for every vibe, the interpretation of the vibe is different to every human. So it's like, I thought that was really cool. Yeah, that's what I learned.
I learned that you can pre-program like piano to play poop sounds. I learned that there is gonna be a forthcoming super piano that has 89 keys and lets you hear supersonic sounds. And I learned, I actually think that I learned a lot about like how artistry happens and how like you can use these, you know, limited and yet expansive set of sounds to curate a vibe, to, you know, using a very limited set of tools that when arranged in different constructions can really create an expansive set of meanings. And as somebody who has historically been a little bit math phobic, and not always thought I could understand something like that, I think there's a beauty to that.
As I tell my students a lot, there's only 12 notes.
Krystal, having heard our explanations of what we have learned today, do you feel like you successfully thought like a bimbo and taught us about your area of expertise?
I think I got a little bit of info into y'all's heads. Next time you're hearing a song, you'll go like, oh, that's a minor scale. And then I'll know in my heart that I have won.
I don't know if I will have gotten that far with it, but I will now hear songs and think about how the vibe was curated, and that's Bimbo mentality, baby.
Boom.
Krystal, what do you have to plug?
So, as Bug mentioned earlier, I am on Twitch every Tuesday from 7 to 10 EST, streaming sick DJ tunes. You can find my music that I've written on pretty much all streaming platforms under the name Krystal Swords. And you can also find me on currently Instagram. Blue Sky's deactivated, but currently Instagram also as Krystal Swords. And if you're looking for music lessons, especially guitar lessons, I'm your girl.
And you can find all of us, I'm sure, in the pages of AO3 fanfics, which will be full of Bimbo Mentality Ship Wars material.
Can't wait to have my very own AO3 tag.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God,
I'm
that
sure
would be.
that any.
That would be you made it if you have AO3
Yeah,
fiction
right.
about you.
Right?
Right. Well, I'm sure there's very opinionated shippers for many different combinations on this podcast.
In all possible permutations, I am just like sitting in the corner with a microphone, just kind of documenting.
I don't know
in the cuck
true,
chair
but...
with a Zoom.
With your Guitar Hero microphone.
Yeah.
No, I think there's like there's like 4 or 5 extremely dedicated like Lilith Emma shippers.
And God bless all of you.
I hope that is the case, actually. That would make my day.
Bit of a crack ship, but at least the fics are good.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's going to do it for us this week on Bimbo Mentality. Tune in next time when we're talking about some shit. Bye.
I just